Dear Mr. Aaron, I just heard the announcement of the new Thor, and I'm writing to send my unqualified approval. Sequentially yours. Wait. I should go into more detail. As I write this, the news has just broken that Jason Aaron and Russell Dowderman will be supervising a new run of Thor in which the noble Norse... I don't know, something that starts with N and means hero, changes forms. The Thor that everybody's familiar with will no longer be worthy to carry Mjolnir, and the hammer will be picked up by... a woman? Yes, my friends, the new Thor will be female. Moreover, in the words of Aaron, quote, "This is not she-Thor. This is not Lady Thor. This is not Thorita. This is Thor. This is the Thor of the Marvel Universe. But it's unlike any Thor we've ever seen before." End quote. You know what? Good for them. This seems like an interesting place to take the character, a character who's remained largely static for decades. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Thor, but it's nice to shake up the Marvel Universe and introduce new characters every once in a while. Now, there will inevitably be some criticism of this choice, and I would like to address some of the points that will no doubt be brought up. 1. Why make somebody else Thor? Wouldn't Thor be Thor? Well, first off, Thor is a persona that has been established needs an avatar. While most people forget this, Donald Blake is actually the human person under all that Nordic perfection. Lots of people have filled in for Thor over the years, including Eric Masterson, who eventually gave up the hammer and became Thunderstrike, instead with his magical mace. And, most famously, Beta Ray Bill, an alien who was, indeed, Thor for a while. In the words of Jason Aaron, quote, "At one point, Thor was a frog. So I think if we can accept Thor as a frog and a horse-faced alien, we should be able to accept a woman being able to pick up that hammer and wield it for a while, which, surprisingly, we've never really seen before. So yes, Thor is whoever holds the hammer. That person is the avatar of Thor. According to Aaron and Marvel Editor-in-Chief Axel Alonso, the person who is currently that avatar will still be around, but unable to wield Mjolnir, and will not be calling himself Thor. I think it's also important to note that this is not the first time somebody else has picked up the hammer. It's close to the 5th time. It is, however, the first time that the change was questioned because of the identity of the person picking it up, rather than because somebody else had picked it up at all. 2. Why change a character to female rather than adding new female characters? There's a couple of reasons, but I think the best one is that it'd be more interesting. There are plenty of great female characters in the Marvel Universe, but many are distaff counterparts of male heroes, with stories crafted to them. It would be nice to see a woman in the same position and facing the same threats as Thor does now. Why make it Thor instead of, for example, a new Valkyrie book? Because Thor is an icon. More people will read Thor books than they would a Valkyrie book. Pretending that all characters are equally important and that creating a new character out of whole cloth will somehow have the same impact as a major alteration to an established one willfully ignores that the strength of a book's title will directly reflect how many readers to expect, and established properties do better than startups. This is especially true of new readers who are more likely to pick up a book that they've heard of, and everybody has heard of Thor now, than one that they're entirely unfamiliar with. If they want to appeal to the biggest readership, they need to take a chance, and I applaud the courage this takes from a publishing standpoint. That being said, why does it matter? Keep in mind that this is the comic book industry, where even huge deal changes are usually reversed in a few years. Welcome back, Mr. Parker. So like every other time that somebody else has taken over for Don Blake, I don't think this will last for very long. Since the entire thing will return to default in a few years anyway, why not explore these stories and end up with that different female hero after she's done being Thor, the same way we did with Eric Masterson and Beta Ray Bill? 3. Isn't this just pandering and/or a gimmick? Was it pandering when Johnny Blaze was replaced by the younger Danny Ketch? Was it pandering when Guy Gardner replaced Hal Jordan? Hell, was it pandering when Eric Masterson replaced Donald Blake as Thor? It seems like accusations of pandering only occur when white guys are replaced by not white not guys. Except when they're frogs and aliens, apparently. As to it being a gimmick? Yeah, of course it is. Gimmicks are also known as angles, and are how you go about doing interesting new things. You know what else is a gimmick? Making the new Miss Marvel a Muslim teenager who's the child of Pakistani immigrants. But that doesn't prevent Kamala Khan from being one of the best new characters in the Marvel stable. Know what else is a gimmick? A 15-year-old with the powers of a spider. I mean, if you want to talk about pandering, look at everything that has ever happened to Peter Parker in the history of ever. This is a character that is so popular exactly as he is, that he is invulnerable to any sort of lasting change that will advance his character by even a minuscule amount. Further, in the same Time interview quoted previously, Alonso also says this when asked if this is an attempt to engage with female readership. Quote, "Yes, we absolutely are. We see fans of all shapes and sizes and genders in comic stores and at conventions, and we perceive there to be a real thirst for characters that reflect what we see in the mirror. From Miles Morales, the African-American Spider-Man, to the new female Thor, our goal is to make our characters reflect the outside world." End quote. And I don't think that's a bad thing. 47% of comic readers are women. Why not write stories about people who are also women? People enjoy things more and connect with them more when they can see themselves in the characters, and this is a great way to do that. So, yes, it is a gimmick. The question is whether it's a gimmick that will lead to interesting stories or not. Considering the strength of a team like Aaron and Dowderman, I suspect that it will. So you see, Mr. Aaron, I know we are courting in order to do this, but I have a lot of respect for your choice and have no doubt that you'll be able to take this new Thor in interesting directions. Thank you for taking a chance on something new. Sequentially yours, Karu.
As long as I can remember, I haven't looked for you. I haven't looked for you all my days. As long as I can remember, I haven't looked for you. And all this while you were waiting along the way. So let this be a testimony how far I would go to bring you home. And let each day be our victory and the sweetest time that we've ever known. Quédate, por favor, por favor, quédate conmigo. Останься, пожалуйста, пожалуйста, останься со мной. No.